Way back in the back when times, YouTuber theStrongboyz19 asked, "What's your favourite Black Sabbath album?" Master of Reality is a great album. Perhaps it's their groundbreaking debut, or perhaps their follow-up, Paranoid. Many great songs on Paranoid. Master of Reality? Maybe it was their third album, Master of Reality. You've put Master of Reality in the title. Some of the stuff with Dio was very good. You have to stop doing this. Perhaps it was from their oft-overlooked period with Tony the Cat. You're fucked! Well, naturally what started as a lovely sunny day has now descended into the sun setting and rain, which is fantastic. But I'm going to try and get this done because I'm not going to have many other opportunities to do it. And I've still got a long walk home anyway, so. Yes, theStrongboyz19 requested this. My favourite Black Sabbath album, Master of Reality, is what I've chosen. Of course, there are many, let's be honest, from the first 6 that I could have chosen. It was definitely a hard choice. Paranoid and Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath were very strong contenders, but ultimately it was Master of Reality. Fuck's sake. The rain has passed swiftly, but enough to dampen my equipment, but not my spirit. It only rained for a couple of minutes, to be fair. Master of Reality is my favourite Black Sabbath album. Sweet Leaf, After Forever, Children of the Grave, Lord of This World, Solitude, and surely one of the most riff-tastic songs ever, Into the Void. Whew. There's also Orchid and Embryo, which, you know, they're there. A lot of the songs started to sound even heavier on this album, and that was because during their tour for Paranoid, Tony Iommi, the riff lord, God, realised that if he started tuning down, it was actually easier on his fingers after he famously lost his fingertips, you know, in an accident at work years before. He tunes down to D on a lot of these, and I think even C sharp on some of them as well. Certainly does in later albums. The album was released in 1971, and it was the band's third album. Only the year before, I think it was January 1970, they released Black Sabbath, their debut self-titled album, which would obviously go on to inspire so many people. And in the same year they released the follow-up, Paranoid, with so many great songs on there. It's unbelievable how they managed to do that. So unbelievable how they managed to do that. How did you do that? The album was also written and recorded in chunks, as they were part of a frantic touring schedule following the success of the first 2 albums. They especially were enjoying a lot of success in the States, which, as Ozzy stated himself, was the dream for any band, regardless of wherever they came from. The light leaves this place, yet I still have a review and many miles to walk home. I'm going to get into the songs in just a moment. One last thing that I wanted to say. One of the things I really, really enjoy about those early Sabbath albums, and a lot of the stuff from the 60s and 70s, was the production. That organic sounding production. I love that, the way everything's panned, and due to the recording techniques back then, everything feels separated. You can really hear what each instrument's doing. It's staying lighter later. It's staying lighter later. But that don't mean I don't get caught out by the tide. You can clearly hear the drums, you can clearly hear the separation between the guitar and the bass and the vocals, all the rest of it. I mean, there's a reason bands produce the way they do today, obviously, because it sounds great as well, but there's something special about that recording techniques that they had back then, which is a reason why bands like Uncle Acid and the Deadbeats record the way they do now as well. Thanks, 012. Review bound. Review bound. I've done a bunch of waffle now, it's time to review albums. Sweet Leaf, the album opener, of course, with that looping sample of Tony Iommi coughing after Ozzy Osbourne gave him a spliff. A marijuana cigarette. How many bands have based their entire careers on this one song? How many stoner bands have come out of this. A lot. An ode to marijuana. Wacky Backy. At the time, Ozzy was questioning what they were going to call the song, and Geezer, being the primary lyricist of the band, certainly at that time, was smoking some Afghan cigarettes. Get a job, hippie! By all accounts, on the side of the packet, it said something along the lines of the sweetest leaf you'll ever have. And they called it Sweet Leaf, which was an ode to marijuana, which they were all starting to enjoy at that time. And Geezer writes, though Ozzy sings, "You introduced me to my mind." Up next is After Forever, which was primarily written by Iommi, including the lyrics, and it had much more of a Christian sort of sentiment to this one, not so much from the Dark Lord himself. This one's much more of an ode to God in many ways, or questioning, where'd you go when you die? I guess, wouldn't it be better to believe in a God and believe that there's an afterlife and you're going somewhere good? Some of the lyrics here. Could it be you're afraid of what your friends might say if they knew you believe in God above? They should realise before they criticise that God is the only way to love. So yeah, some interesting lyrics from the band. But a great song. The first time I actually heard this was actually from Biohazard. I didn't get into Sabbath till later on. My introduction was Metallica through the Black Album, and I got into heavier music before going backwards. And I got the Nativity and Black tribute album, which had Sepultura, Type O Negative, Therapy, who did a great cover of Iron Man, with Ozzy as well, actually, I think. And they also had Biohazard, etc. And they did their cover of After Forever, which was the first time I heard this song. Having now gotten fully into Black Sabbath, there's no comparison to the original. Great track. Up next is Embryo, which is a very brief instrumental from Iommi. That's decent enough guitar piece. They try to block my path, but I will find a way. Oh. There it is. Next song, Children of the Grave. Whew. God damn. Another one that I first heard, White Zombie doing this, and to be fair, they actually did a fucking slamming good cover of this song. This one really showcases Iommi's monstrous riffs, but not only that, it's built around Bill Ward's incredible drumming. His incredible drumming skills are really brought to the fore on this song. Starts out with a galloping bass line from Geezer Butler and some phenomenal vocals from Ozzy. It has to be said that Ozzy, I love Ozzy's vocals on this album. He doesn't get enough credit as a vocalist. I'm not saying he's the strongest vocalist, but I mean, for me, he's the only vocalist for Sabbath. There's just something about the chemistry of these four together that's just undeniable. Right, well, if it looks a lot darker right now, that's because I've just spent the last 20 minutes talking to a camera that wasn't on. Fuck! I believe I was saying something along the lines of Bill Ward being an absolute monster behind the kit on this song. It's fucking true. Bloody hell. Fucking camera. Was it the camera or was it you? Orchid is another instrumental. Apparently this was from a guitar solo that he used to do to give Ozzy a break, I guess, when they were on tour in America, doing the American leg of the tour. From Paranoid, I guess. Okay song. It's okay. There was a real fucking funny bit I did back there at that point. The fucking camera was off. Ugh. Lord of this world. This is in stark contrast to After Forever. This is the Lord of the Underworld himself giving his take on things. You think you're innocent, you've nothing to fear. You don't know me, you say, but isn't it clear? You turn to me in all your worldly greed and pride, but will you turn to me when it's your turn to die? Yes, so very much the opposite of After Forever. He's here. He's all around. Wish I hadn't thought of that when I was out here. I bought a torch today as well. I wasn't going to pack it. I had a fucking feeling I'd need it. And one day I didn't bring the car as well. Shite. Solitude. 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 Solitude is up next. Showcasing a different side to Sabbath. On the previous album, Paranoid, they of course had the wonderful Planet Caravan. This is similar in feel, maybe not as psychedelic. Has to be said, Ozzy's vocals on this one are pretty fucking awesome. The way he emotes a love lost. We've all been there. The world's a lonely place, you're on your own. Guess I will go home, sit down and moan. Crying and thinking is all that I do. Memories I have remind me of you. Fucking hell. The cows, they follow. Final song of the album, the monstrous Into the Void. The opening riff to this, I remember the first time I heard it, I was just all in. Absolutely adored this. I think the first Sabbath thing I actually got was a box set, Wheels of Confusion, 4-disc box set, which was pretty much all you needed really. I think most stuff was on there. Sold that fucking thing, it's worth a lot of money now. That's bollocks. Not only has this got a great opening riff, but some true monstrous riffs from Iommi throughout. One of my favourite Sabbath songs, full stop. So many great riffs from Iommi in one song. Bill Ward laying down the foundation effortlessly behind the kit. Ozzy delivers another stellar vocal performance, while Butler perfectly syncs up with the guitars and drums, as well as providing the inspired lyrics. Definitely an environmental theme to this one. This is about escaping the dying planet, a planet that's on its last legs. Because of man, I guess. I presume it's man. No, I don't think it's anything to do with the rapture, I'm not sure. Maybe it is. Don't know, never thought of that. But anyway, yes, escaping the planet via a spaceship. It's really getting fucking dark now. This sucks. Rocket engines burning fuel so fast, up into the night sky they blast. Through the universe the engines whine, could it be the end of man and time? Back to earth the flame of life burns low, everywhere is misery and woe. Oh dear. Pollution kills the air, the land, the sea. Man prepares to meet his destiny. Fucking great. Awesome. Absolutely fucking great. I think at this point I'm going to get out my torchy watch. I've decided to treat myself to the gift of light. Thank you, gift of light. So, that was Black Sabbath. Not sure what this looks like. Odd, I'd imagine. Crazy. Cray-cray. Why are you doing these things, Benjamin? Because it's fucking dark. And I'm out in the fucking country. Now, over the last couple of months, over the last 4 or 5 months since I've been doing these reviews, I've had the occasional question, comment if you will, why do you do these reviews while walking around in fields? Now, quite often, I ignore these comments because they annoy me. Because the simple answer is why fucking not? However, on nights like this, I still have a good hour's walk to get home. It is now dark. And I still have much country to traverse on my travels. Why? Why? Because I must. Because I must. That is why. This review is nearly finished. I have an iPod twixt my pocket, which I will use soon. The music will take me home. So will my legs. This wit and bullshit must come to an end. Yeah, seriously, I've got a long way to walk home. The review's pretty much done. I've said what needed to be said. Thank you to StrongboyZ 19 for the suggestion. I haven't forgotten to about you requesting Nail Bomb. I've been getting many people requesting a second album already. That'll be a fair few months down the road, but I will get to it eventually, my friend. Check out StrongboyZ 19's YouTube page as well. I know he just did a video about Tosca, Ode to the Author, which is a great album. I highly recommend that one myself. Go to his channel, check it out, and check out Tosca 2. Tosca 2! Tosca 2! Seriously. Oh, bats. Great. Now there are bats. That's always good. Next week will be A Perfect Circle's new album, plus Tesseract's new album, plus Melvin's new album. No subscriber requests next week. Taking a break from that so that I can concentrate on 3 brand new releases, which is always good to discover new music. I always am. Yes, like, subscribe, share, tell people about the channel. If you really enjoy it, let's be honest, if you've made it this far, you must have done, because I've fucking gone on. If you see this video, chances are I made it home.